Welcome to Talk Birdie to Me. This is Australia's most popular golf podcast with former world number 16 Nick O'Hearn, the only player to beat Tiger Woods twice in match play, and tour pro Mark Allen, who played professional golf around the world for 15 years, including a British Open. We're coming from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. Titleist is the number one ball in golf, and FootJoy is the number one shoe and glove in golf. And thanks to our great partners, Watch My Numbers, the most powerful database golf app in the world. Download from the App Store or Google Play. Ping, as with Nick O'Hearn, will help you play your best. See your local golf shop or professional for a Ping Club fitting. The Golf Clearance Outlet beat everyone's prices. Visit golfclearanceoutlet.com.au for your nearest store. And Better, the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. Now that's better. Now, from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, it's time for Talk Birdie to Me. Here's Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen.
Well, welcome everybody. This is a feedback podcast on Talk Birdie to Me. This is Nick O'Hearn. I'm Mark Allen. And Dan, you've got some questions for us.
Well, I do. Now, we were talking earlier on in the week about Paul Moloney, and he was playing at the 96 Australian Open. He was playing with Tiger, and you were playing, I think, in the group behind them, Mark.
No, I played behind Tiger in rounds 1 and 2. And that's when I saw that crazy drive that I thought it must have been his second shot.
Okay.
Until someone on the tee said, no, that's his drive. But what Paul responded and said he played with him.
Yeah,
he didn't play with him in round 1 or 2. No way.
Well, anyway, we tried to call him on. We had a chat the other day, but
well, he wasn't exactly opposing. Like he won the 1993 Singapore Open, Paul Moloney, but
I know.
He wasn't going to be playing with Tiger.
Okay.
I mean, that was for Greg
Just
Norman
checking.
and some of the others.
Hey,
we got him. Have we got him?
I reckon that'll be him. Hang on. Let's have a look here.
Hang on a second. There he is. The 1993 Singapore Open champion, Paul Moloney. Nice to see you, Paul.
Yeah, you too, Mark.
Hey, Paul.
Thanks for getting me on, guys. Yeah.
I know you were the Singapore Open champion in 93, but there's no way you'll play with Tiger Woods round 1 and 2 at the 96 Australian Open.
No, I didn't. We were drawn together final round.
Jeez.
The event was at the Australian that year. We had some pretty rough weather, I think, in the early stages of the week, and the rough was up as well. It was a bit lush, and I think Tiger had a shocking first 9 on the round 1.
He shot 79 round 1.
Yeah, so I think he went out and sort of like 42, 3, 4 or something of that ilk. And for the rest of the tournament, he was just playing catch up. And by the time we were drawn together in the final round, I don't know where we were positioned, somewhere inside top 20. And then Tiger did his usual stuff. And I think I sort of alluded to it when we spoke a little earlier around hitting all the par 5s into that day. And it was a bit of a show of power at a time when he was just making his career known.
Well, he just turned pro, hadn't he? And at that stage, he was still, fairly wiry and thin. But the club head speed, from what I remember in 96, 97, was out of control. Yeah. Have you seen anything like it?
No, it was quite incredible. In fact, I know you guys were talking about equipment earlier, but I think it was the 43.5-inch driver. That was the Cobra, whatever it was, the King Cobra driver. Quite a shallow face compared to drivers of today, and just a steel shaft. And we got up. He didn't birdie the first, but he hit it in. I think he hit the greenside trap in 2, the par 5, and then the 5th hole was where it all started to happen. And if you might recall, there was an Australian Open there a few years earlier, and Greg Norman holed a 3-wood for
that's right.
an albatross.
They got a plaque there for it.
That's true.
That plaque, that's right. So he drove it not dissimilar distance to where that plaque was, but a bit further down, and then he pulled out 2-iron and just simply flew it into the middle of the green. So, so we are talking a while ago, and then the wind was up. It was strong, and I think what really got me was we got around to the back 9 to 14th, and that's a par 5 where you can take it over the corner, but the fairway starts to camber from left to right and forces all your drives into the right-hand rough. As long as he hit it and where he put his drive into the wind, of course, on this particular hole, he then proceeded to pull out a 3-wood and knock it on the green, where all week the field was driver, 3-wood, probably 7 or 8 iron for most of the field, yet he managed to hit it on the green there. And then I think, Mark, you were referring to when you went and saw him up 18, and I think he hit 7 iron in there for his second shot there.
Yeah.
So
no, I was playing behind him, Paul. I was playing behind him. I played right behind him in rounds 1 and 2. And, I was waiting on the 18th hole and, I was on the cut line as usual.
I can see you just bringing the scores up because he wanted to make sure he beat you that week, Paul.
I did get you. I don't think he had the best last round playing with Tiger. I won't talk about that, but, I got you that week. But, I remember the first day. remember the first day? It was the coldest Sydney day that they'd ever experienced. It's probably still a record in summer for that time of year. I mean, it was just ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, look, I do remember that final round because obviously, as I think we were sort of talking around earlier, he'd taken all before him, and I think it's well documented in the books that he's written too that. He managed to secure a tour card through some sponsor invites, and I think he won at Vegas and at Disney with 1 or 2 tournaments before the end of the season closing out. So obviously Tick secures the card, but at that point in time, I think he'd already signed his appearance deal with Golf Australia or the Australian Golf Union of the day at the British Open in July. So everyone kind of knew he was coming down. And all the media and Hello World with his Nike sponsorship and front cover of Time magazine. What I kind of knew and anticipated and expected in playing with him was there was just massive interest, and I just remember playing down the first hole, the par 5, and literally 10 deep with spectators, and they certainly weren't there to watch me, but it was fascinating to see grandfathers with their kids thinking, wow, this is a moment in time in history where we might actually see something special. And the whole sort of day was a little bit like that. And Nick, as you can attest to, he's a very focused individual when it comes to playing. And there were some opportunities to converse and talk stuff, and whether that was mini leaderboards around the course, having cricket scores on them and talking about cricket or whatever it was. But most of the time he was very much in the zone, focusing on what he was trying to do. And I think Fluff Cowan was his caddy at the time, and he actually had Butch Harmon down from the US, and he was wandering around too. But Butch is another story again, isn't it?
Hey, Paul, what do you do with your golf these days? Are you still having the hit?
So, look, not very often. I've been working in the corporate world for some time, working in as an HR, people and culture person, worked in a range of different industries. But since I stopped playing, I went into a little bit of coaching for a while. I was also helping out the state teams for in Victoria for women for about 7 odd years. And then I worked for the PGA, as you probably recall, for probably 7 or 8 years. In fact, worked with Nick, with your brother Troy, obviously together we worked on a lot of different things.
Yep.
So that was a really good experience for a period of time there, and just never know what's around the corner as far as golf industry stuff. But not playing, not very often.
Well, at least 2 of us 4 got to play with Tiger. I missed out a couple of times. I was on the same score. Would have loved to, and it's such great memories, Paul. Great to see you. Thanks for taking our call.
Thanks, mate.
Excellent. Thanks, guys.
Good on you.
All right. Cheers.
All right, Paul Moloney. Nice to speak with him again. That's fantastic. Hadn't seen him for a long time.
It'd be fascinating. He was talking about, Paul was talking about how Tiger was very focused and so on. It'd be fascinating, I think, to ask Steve Williams about that next week when we talk to Steve and just get Steve's insights into the focus that Tiger brought to his golf. That would be very interesting, I think.
Oh, well, that's very much looking forward to speaking with Stevie Williams. It's going to be great. What's next?
Now, we've got some more feedback. We might go to the turn and we'll come back after this and hit you with a few questions, huh?
Beautiful.
Perfect.
All right.
That's mind-blowing. I mean, it feels so solid.
That's as consistent as it gets.
Oh my gosh, it's good, man. Hot.
I'm glad if they play a different driver, because I know this one's the best.
It's the best feeling driver I've ever hit.
We're live from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. We all know the number one ball in golf is Titleist and the number one shoe and glove in golf is FootJoy. We're here thanks to the Golf Clearance Outlet. They beat everyone's prices. Ping will always help you play your best. Turn your bogeys into birdies with the Watch My Numbers app. And Better, the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. That's Better. Now, back to Talk Birdie to Me. Here's Nick and Mark.
Well, we've got some more feedback, Dan. Just a couple left, haven't we?
Yeah, I got a few here. This one, a couple of comments before we get to a couple of questions. This one comes from Matthew. Matthew said, "Hey guys, love the show, weekly listener. I thought I'd share this with you. I'm currently listening to the latest episode in Palafrugell, Spain.
Wow.
Talk Birdie to Me has gone international.
Wow.
That's nice.
Also, just want to mention I played at Club, I don't know how to say this, Club Golf Dior.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yesterday. And it is a fantastic course.
Yeah, it's world renowned.
Yeah.
How lucky is this guy?
Well
done.
Living the dream.
Yeah.
He is living the dream. Adrian wants to know, Nick and Mark, can you tell me why the once successful Australian Masters is no longer played?
I've got my theories on it. But the major theory was Huntingdale, and this is coming from a 30-year member there, the golf course got so bad that players in the end just didn't want to play it.
Really?
Yep. I mean, I've asked, I don't want to give it away. Let's just say a recent US Open winner from Australia, he just didn't want to come.
Right.
He just didn't want to come anymore. The golf course got to a point where, it was a long way off where it was. Now, the good news is for Huntingdale, I'm not sure what I've told you to, have I? But I went there and had a look a couple of weeks ago, and I'm telling you, the difference that Michael Cocking and OCM have made at this joint, it is off the charts. And if that's anything to go by, maybe the Masters will come home to a new and improved Huntingdale Golf Club one day.
Bring back the gold jacket.
Bring back the gold jacket. Our friend Craig Spence.
There was a gold jacket we spoke of last week at Happy Gilmore too.
That's right.
It's a different gold jacket.
Our friend Craig Spence, who won the 1999 Australian Masters and beat Greg Norman, hit that 6 iron to the last. He still wears his gold jacket at the breakfast every once in a while. Just comes out the gold jacket.
He does not.
Surprises.
Mate, I saw his kid there at the basketball the other day at Hoop City, and I said, "Is your dad still wearing that gold jacket at brekkie?" He goes, "Yeah, every once in a while."
Oh, that is hilarious. That's funny. Hilarious. No, we just had the voicemail sound go off.
Okay.
You have one new voicemail. New message.
Nick, Mark, and Dan. This is Anthony from Ballarat. First time caller, long time listener. I was just listening to your feedback pod, Nick and Mark talking about young Aussies going over to play college golf. Is there a pathway like there is for Aussie kids that go to play football? Pro Kick Australia is one that's very prominent. They send a lot of kids over on full scholarships to different levels of colleges. Is there a pathway, or is that an opportunity to get that up and running for young Aussie golfers? Thanks, boys.
Is that Andy?
Anthony.
Anthony,
It's a good question,
as far as I know, there's not. But see, this is my point. This is what I think Golf Australia should be handling this. Golf Australia should have a consultant.
Yeah, I have heard of people, maybe one is US-based and there might be one here in Australia who does look out for certain talent that may fit certain schools over there.
Yeah, that's right.
But as far as Golf Australia goes, I don't know.
I think it's almost who you know. So Max Charles, for instance.
Yeah.
So Max
tell us
Charles,
the story there.
So Max Charles wanted to go to college golf. He got in contact with me. I got in contact with Texas Tech, where I went. And they were looking at him until some kid from Sweden called Ludwig Oberg got on their radar, and they took Ludwig instead of Max Charles.
Oh, that was stupid.
But what Texas Tech did, and my friend Steve Long, who works at Texas Tech, or does a little bit of short game here and there at Texas Tech, he organised him to go to a junior college in Midland. And Max Charles went there, did 2 years there, played well enough to where he was offered a scholarship at a different college up Washington Way, where Steve Williams has a house, actually. I've forgotten the name of the college, but Max ended up playing out his career there. Great. So, you've just got to get in and then play your way somewhere special. Or if you are under the Golf Australia umbrella, instead of getting an Australian team Guernsey every once in a while for those fringe players. If we did have somebody in charge, Nick, of saying, hey, listen, who's interested in going overseas? Because you've got to a point where your golf swing is absolutely brilliant. It's heading in the right direction. Your short game needs a bit of work. But we think you'd get a lot of value from playing in America.
Yeah, well, I think they have the high performance programs in each state now, and given the popularity of golf and how many youngsters are coming through, there's only a certain amount of spots.
That's right.
Other than that, then what do we do? So,
that's right.
So there is a great opportunity for it.
Well, and that would actually do two things. It would give kids who aren't getting a regular game in Australian teams, it would give them the ability of that high-level competition, but then it would also free up spots.
True.
All right. So if you got 3 of those kids away and out of your system, then that gets 3 more into our systems.
Yep.
So to me, it's a win-win-win.
Okay. Maybe we should look into it.
I don't think we can make $1 out of it, Nick. I know why your mind thinks. I don't think we're making $1 out of this.
No, it's all for the grow the game, mate.
It's all to grow the game. That's right.
Okay, got a message here from Jeff. G'day, Mark and Nick. I'm a fellow Kingston Heath member, and my wife and I are currently on a 3-month trip touring and golfing in the US. We play some great courses, including all the top Ohio and Wisconsin courses. We're currently in Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. She's very nice.
Lovely.
Whilst in Idaho, we found the solution to the bunker rake issue. Playing at the Coeur d'Alene Resort course, famous for the Island Green, the rake handles are inserted into a pipe that leaves the rake head visible and level with the ground, no more exposed than a sprinkler head. So you can cancel your rake podcast and just promote this. Kind regards, Jeff.
Jeff from Kingston Heath. I recognise that, man.
So it submerges all the way down. Huh?
It goes all the way down.
Wow.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's of interest. I'm not sure some of our more posh clubs would think that's a good idea, but there are some situations, like I'm a big proponent. I think rakes should be left out of the bunker.
Of course.
I think that because it makes it easy for people to collect it on the way to their ball.
Yeah.
Because so often when it's a big bunker or even a small bunker, people are in a hurry. They just walk straight in, they hit their shot, then they start looking for the rake, and the rake might be somewhere else.
True.
Then they've got to walk all the way over there, get the rake up everything. In the end, they're going too quick and they're just not doing it right. But there are some bunkers where, for instance, if there's a bunker in the middle of a fairway, where do you leave the rake then? Because it kind of is in play. So would there be an availability to put this thing in the bunker out of play?
There's not. Yeah, true. You're probably thinking the 12th at Kingston Heath, aren't you? With the bunker right in the middle of the fairway. I know something that works really well, especially is down at the National where I play a lot. They have a little blue.
Yeah, it works well.
I don't know what it is.
It's like a hairbrush. It's like a hairbrush
where they want you to leave the rake because that is in the ideal place for people to go in and out of the bunker rather than just randomly going in at different angles. This is where you should go in and out. So that works really well.
Yes, I've spoken to people at Royal Melbourne and I've spoken to people at National where this is prevalent, and they both say since the rakes have been out of the traps, it's just that much easier, and the rakes are and the bunkers, this is the whole point of it, are being looked after a hell of a lot better.
I reckon we might call it a pod there. However, two things to remind people about. The first is that next week, we talked to Steve Williams. Steve Williams, super caddy. Number 1 caddy, in fact, on your list earlier this week, Nick.
Certainly was.
That's
Top
right.
5.
Look out for his book too, which is one of the reasons we're getting him on. Together We Roared with Evan Priest wrote the book. Stevie Williams, it's really focused on his relationship with Tiger.
Yep.
I'm 100 pages through it, I can tell you, and it is fantastic.
Right. And if you are on or near or able to get to the Gold Coast on Wednesday, October 8, we are having our Talk Birdies and Me Golf Day. Tickets on sale now from where, Mark?
Well, you're asking the right person there. Links Golf and Wellbeing at Hope Island. Yep. So we're really looking forward. I haven't been to Hope Island for so long. I just remember it being a fabulous new golf course in Queensland. I'm just really keen to see how it's all settled in 30 years later. I can't wait to get there.
Yep. So tickets on sale now from the website or links on our socials as well. We love to see people there. That's it, guys. Have a fantastic weekend.
All right.
See you guys. See you next time.
And that's been Talk Birdie to Me, Australia's most popular golf podcast with Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen. coming from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. As everyone knows, Titleist is the #1 ball in golf, and FootJoy, the #1 shoe and glove in golf. Wherever you get your podcasts, make sure to subscribe, maybe leave a review, and we'd love you to share the pod with a friend who loves their golf. Huge thanks to our fantastic partners. Ping, like they do for Nick O'Hearn, will help you play your best. You can see your local golf shop or professional for a Ping club fitting. The Golf Clearance Outlet always beat everyone's prices. Visit golfclearanceoutlet.com.au for your nearest store. Watch My Numbers is the most powerful data-based golf app in the world. You can download from the App Store or Google Play. And better, they've got the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. Download from the App Stores today. Now that's better. Keep in mind, what are you really gambling with? But for now, from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, thanks for being a part of the show. We'll see you next time.